Welcome. We're broadcasting live from the Woodbridge Bay Port near Funkle, Dominica, where very soon, over the next few days, we will see the offloading of heavy equipment meant to be used on Dominica's international airport project. Earlier this week, you would have heard Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett announced that the vessel carrying the heavy equipment would arrive on Dominica. It has arrived, and we are here to witness the occasion. It is a significant moment in the life of the international project, the international airport project. So we're here with Mr. Carl Murad. He is the operations director at MMCE, project manager of CR5, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Samuel Johnson, who is the CEO of the Airport Development Company, and Mr. Benoit Badwell, who is the chairman of the Airport Development Committee. I now hand over to the members of the press to interact with this gentleman.
We'll begin with Mr. Carl Murad, who is the head of the airport MMCE, the developers of this airport project. Mr. Murad, where are we now with this project?
Well, we are at a good stage because we are finalizing the detailed drawings of the project. So we've been working on the design, schematic design, and detailed design for all disciplines of the project. And
excuse me, sir, can you speak up because we need to ask questions and we need to hear what you're saying so we can ask follow-up questions. We hardly hear you.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll start again. Okay. We have been working on the engineering part of the drawings, engineering design, schematic design, and detailed designs for all disciplines with our designers in the States. In conjunction with the rest of the team in different parts of the world. And at the same time, we've been working on site with regards to the soil tests, and that's a very sophisticated procedures. We got all the equipments required to do the soil testing and studying of the site levels, etc. And we have established, as you maybe all know, a special laboratory for all these tests and results. Just to make it simple, for every boreholes, we have about 26 different tests of soil that are done before we make a decision of how to handle that part of land. In addition, we are doing excavation to the affected area or to the required area, leveling, preparation for the mobilization and the offices and the facilities that are required for the contractor to function. And that's what we have been doing for the past year and a half, let's say. For today, this is a good day that will expedite our work, will expedite the construction, it will expedite the excavation and the backfilling and all this. So we have today about 132 pieces of equipment, in addition to 44 containers full of building materials, in addition to 11 tons of steel rebars. That's what you see up there. And we were looking forward to this day, in fact, because it will expedite our action. Just to give you an example, we have about 49 dump trucks, 6 loaders, 6 bulldozers, 5 graders, 2 forklifts. We have roller compactors, 12 of them. We have the dynamic compaction. We have the excavators, about 16 excavators, we have the crush, we have the concrete patch plant. 2, we have the crane trucks, we have the mobile cranes, etc. And we're talking about from big size to medium to small size. And all this will be facilitated and used in the project. And there will be more to come. This is just the first batch of requirements that we have, but we will have continuous containers, continuous materials, continuous equipments as we go along in the project.
You spoke, sir, about the soil testing, which is the environmental impact study. How far are you as it relates to that? And as you go along, you also spoke about you'll be doing it in various stages. At what point in time will it be final?
I'll take on that. So you talk of two different things.
Yes.
So there is the environmental impact assessment that has already been done and concluded. The project site is over 500 acres. Fortunately, it's not virgin. It's not a virgin site. In other words, it's been a site that there's been plantation and production in the past. And that study was done last year and found that there's no endemic or endangered species of plants or animals. They did the study, also it did some interaction with the community as well to collect feedback. So that part has been done. The geotech study, which Carl alluded to, has been ongoing, and it is, according to the regulations, requires almost over 300 boreholes done at, well, 600 in total, but done in a spacing of 60 meters over the entire runway side, where you need to ensure that the quality of the soil material for cutting and for filling is suitable, right? And if it's not suitable, what adjustments or what treatments can be done with it? As we all know, that part of the island there's a lot of clay, and that brings its own challenges. But we've been working with the lab to determine exact elasticity, moisture content, and all that, and then what sort of treatments will be done to ensure that there's slope stabilization. So that is still ongoing. We're about halfway with the geotech study. And it's not some people say, well, do you do the geotech study before you choose the site? No. I'm sure we've all seen airports being built in the water. Hong Kong actually built an airport out at sea. In Japan, they built an airport out at sea. So it's not about a go, no go, but if it's about knowing what the soil types are and what engineering adjustments need to be made to work with it, yeah, to realize our goals. So I don't know. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, because I was also asking how long do you foresee that aspect is going to be for?
Yeah. So I think we're about halfway through it, the geotech piece, and how we prioritized the assessment is, as you can imagine, the runway is the critical area, which is where the planes will be landing. The apron and taxiway area, also very, very critical. So for the most part, we've done a preliminary assessment over the entire length of the runway. But according to regulations, we have to be a little bit more exhaustive, and we hope that probably in the next 6 months to have the entire site complete for the geotech. But we have enough preliminary information to work with to influence and inform the designing that's going on right now. So it's not a sequential process, it's a parallel process where you use the information you get to make tweaks as you go along.
I was about to ask, does it have to be complete the testing first before you begin any work?
So I'll repeat it. So his question was, does it have to be complete first before you commence any work? And the answer, as I just alluded to earlier on, is that you can do it in parallel. So you don't have to have everything finished before you can do the next. You can use the information that you get and work with it and design and tweak. Because there, as you can appreciate, over 500 acres, you have the terminal area, the apron area, the facilities, and then the actual runway. you can use that information and work in parallel, because I'm sure everybody will appreciate we're working with a very aggressive timeline to try to get this done. So we're trying to do it in parallel, right? And work with information that you get and tweak. So do it in sprints, sort of kind.
Carl, now that the equipment is here, where do we go from here on the airport project?
I think, as I said, that will expedite the process and the construction. And you will start seeing a big change to the process, to the schedule of the works, because of this shipment here. We're not talking only about equipment. As I stated, we have 44 containers full of building materials, and we have 1,100 tons of steel, and that's only the first batch out of maybe 15. So we're getting there. Yes.
What about local employees on the project?
Well, as MMC, we already have many engineers on from the Dominican engineers on site as we speak. In total, maybe we have about 28 to date, and that's not at the airport site. That's at housing, different housing projects. And as for the airport, we definitely are planning to hire locals in all professions, starting from laborers, skillful technicians, engineers, inspectors. But we may require to request for certain certificates or certain training prior to that. But it's it's one of our goals is to focus on the local market, focus on the local human resources, develop these human resources prior and during on-job training, etc. And the way MMC is thinking about this whole thing is not only to do the airport project, but also to methodology of doing it, how to do it. And part of that is to do with how can we enrich the local communities, human resources part, So I look forward to receiving CVs from all the Dominican interested candidates. And in fact, CR5 have already published a website and an email for those that are interested to submit. But we're getting there. And we encourage all Dominican engineers, architects, technicians, plumbers, electricians, trainee students, laborers to submit and let us know who they are, where they are, what's their contact numbers, etc., so we can reach them out.
We also have Mr. Joseph from China Railway, and he will share a few words.
Yes. Mr. Joseph?
Yes,
Can you highlight his designation, please?
Mr. G is the acting project manager.
acting project
for
manager,
CR5.
yes.
Okay, good. So, Mr. Joseph, what is going on here with the arrival of this equipment?
Actually, as Mr. Kyle mentioned, this vessel is our first batch to bring the construction equipment purely for the airport construction. And Still, as Mr. Khan mentioned, we have construction equipment. We also have the building materials. We also have the other spare part or accessories, and this is the only first batch. But I believe this vessel, the arrival of this vessel, will press the button to give us an acceleration for the progress of the airport construction.
How qualified is CR5 to undertake this project?
Actually, CR5 is a global company which is undertaking the project across the Asia, Africa, Caribbean area. The CR5 undertakes the airport, highways, railways, even the buildings, the plazas, and all the harbors. So it's a very fully organized company, and it's qualified for the construction of the airport. Yeah.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson.
No. I see you asked CR5, and one of the things that one of the things that I think we'll see with CR5 and your earlier question is not only do they bring the technical skill and know-how, but I think there's a great opportunity for knowledge transfer as well, right? Because one of the things that the agreement with MMCE includes is, and Carl spoke about it at length, is ensuring that as many locals as possible are involved in the development of the project. And CR5, as Joseph indicated, has a vast amount of experience building airports, railways, major infrastructure works all over the world. And they've come and have done extensive consultations already. The design team has already been on island to get a good feel of the area, the topography, and ensuring that there's a very deep understanding of the unique situation here in Dominica. So we have full confidence that CR5 should be able to deliver on this project.
I would like to add here, take this opportunity and give the total credit to our Prime Minister for enforcing and reinforcing the policy of hiring Dominican contractors. MMC has about 12 housing projects under construction now, and all been done with local contractors. MMC is dealing now with close to 65 local contractors, in which 16 and actually 20 of them are now working at Grand Bay. 10 of them are working at Scott's Head. 7 of them are working at Point Michelle housing project. 9 of them are working at Egliston, which is yet to start. 7 of them are working up there, you can see it, at Canefield housing project. 10 of them are working at Vacas housing project. 8 are working at Paybush housing project, and 4 are working at Penville housing project. 9 are working at Woodford housing project, and all these are local contractors, and their subcontractors are local subcontractors, and their suppliers and electricians and plumbers are locals, so you can do the math. Now, when it comes into the airport, we will take every opportunity to localize and use the local resources as directed, as inspired by the Prime Minister, and as instructed also by our owner, the CEO, Dr. Anthony Hayden. It's very important to know that. It's very important now to know that all my engineers that are supervising those sites are Dominicans, engineers, and they are qualified. Not only that, I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of their service. I'm proud of their potential to learn. They are fast learners. My personal secretary could have been from anywhere in the world. She's Dominican. And I was amazed of how fast she learned, and she's up to the task. She's really good. And the same thing for our logistic manager. She's Dominican. One of my senior engineers, she's also Dominican, in addition to the others. So that's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
Mr. Badwell. We're in two hats today, CEO of the Port Authority and the Chairman of the Airport Development.
Okay, well, let me say, today we're elated to have all of this equipment for the airport here at the port today. I think it's been long in coming. Dominica has been talking about the international airport for a number of decades, and we've come to the point where we are in fact going to move ground in the next few days once these equipment are landed. Today we have a slight delay because we have sea swells and we have a little delay in terms of moving the equipment, but we are going to move the equipment, and this is a very important day in the life of the construction of the airport. It's here for all to see that the equipment is here, and this equipment is going to be stored temporarily at the Public Works area as well as on the port, and we are going to have them moved to Wesley within the short space of time. I dare say for Dominica, in terms of the economic activity, this is going to spur economic activity for Dominica, because in the construction sector, it is actually going to bolster the issue of employment. As you've heard a little while ago, several engineers, several local persons have been employed. Now you're going to have a lot more persons being employed, truckers. You're going to have a lot of activity within the airport construction site. And I dare say that is going to help us from the economic standpoint. And we are going to, the airport brings not only during construction, but even after completion, the airport will continue to provide jobs of various classes to the Dominican population. And I would want to ensure that we all, and I know speaking for thousands of Dominicans all over, that they are indeed very happy today that the equipment is here and earth moving is soon going to start.
Mr. Badwell, how many days would it take to offload these heavy equipment?
Well, we estimate, based on our assessment, something like 2.5 days, but we will try our best to see how we can do that. Our only condition here is based on wave action. As you can see, there's a lot of movement with the ship, and because some of the equipment is very heavy equipment, we have to be extremely careful. So safety is first for all of the work that we do here, and we'll be minded by that. But as soon as we can get the right conditions to move the cargo to shore, we will do that in earnest.
And Mr. Badwell, can you speak to us about the badge which was created for the Wesley area?
Well, like everything else, we create what we call contingencies, given all of the situations that we go through. There's a lot of planning taking place, and what we want is to ensure from a logistical standpoint that we leave no stone unturned. And so we are looking at all options, and that is an option that's available to us. And if at all we have to use it, we will utilize it.
In terms of transporting the equipment from the current public works site to the site in Wesley, I foresee that with such heavy equipment, it might cause some delay in traffic. So is the public now given the assurance that in terms of the times that it will not cause an inconvenience?
I can assure you that there is planning, and again I come back to logistics. There is planning behind all of what is happening. I know that the police, the Public Works Department, the various engineers within the Ministry of Public Works have been doing all the assessments of the weight of the various pieces of equipment. And that's why Public Works is being used as a staging area, because they can assemble or disassemble depending on where they're going to move parts of various equipment so that it can handle the roadways that they're going to move over. So rest assured that's going to happen, and the times in which they're going to be moving, most of us sometimes will be asleep.
Okay, it's really a sophisticated, long list, but as I said, just I will repeat in general. Okay, we have 2 mobile cranes at 25 tons and 50 tons capacity. We have crane trucks, 2 at 8 tons capacity. We have concrete patching plants, 75 cubic meter per an hour, 2 of them. We have a crusher, 200 tons per an hour. We have the excavators, 16 excavators, 360 and smaller. We have the dynamic compaction, 2 of them. We have the roller compactions, 12 of them, ranges between 33 tons to 20 tons compaction energy. We have the forklifts, graders, bulldozers, loaders, dump trucks, in addition to the building materials, 41 containers, in addition to 1,100 tons of steel. That's a summary, but the list goes on, and that's only the first batch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Murad, and other officials associated with the airport project. Members of the media, we thank you so much for turning out. As you heard from Mr. Murad, there are jobs available on the airport project, and we want to stress that the China Railway advert is out, and there are openings for operators, truck drivers, surveyors, lab technicians, site engineers, and the list goes on. So we are really encouraging the Dominican public to take advantage of these opportunities. Over the next 4 days or so, we will see the offloading of the equipment, which will be transferred to the public works site near here and then onto the Wesley site, so you can look out for that. We'll try as much as possible to take you along with us as we go through the process. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Good morning.